So what really happened to Charlie Kirk? Was it just a tragic event? Or is there something much bigger hiding beneath the surface? As Rogan and Musk keep the conversation alive, more people are beginning to question the official story. One thing's for sure, this mystery is far from over. Stay alert, keep asking questions, and don't stop searching for the truth.
It was released right on Thanksgiving Eve, right at the end of the day on Wednesday. It reads, the court has evaluated each of the factors that it must consider under the relevant law. 1, nature and circumstances of the offense charged. 2, weight of the evidence against the person. 3, history and characteristics of the person. And 4, nature and seriousness of the danger that would be posed by the person's release. And it also says that the court has also reviewed the information submitted by Combs and the government across all 3 bail hearings in this case. As you remember, Sean Combs was denied bail both by a magistrate judge and a district court judge. Judge Subramanian writes, the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence, so that's the standard, that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. In support of this finding, the court provides the following reason.
Diddy has long faced accusations of witness tampering, so it's not surprising that his bail was denied, even after he reportedly offered $50 million. The details of his bond proposal are shocking, as he had already given up his passport. However, because of Diddy's influence and wealth, the court suspected he might have other hidden passports. There was no way the judge would let such a high-profile figure accused of abuse go free, especially after Diddy was reportedly caught trying to contact witnesses.
Put together the proposed bail package. A $50 million bond, co-signed by him, his mom, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. It's going to be secured by the equity in his property in Miami, Florida. Home detention, his passport will be surrendered. The government said that's insufficient. They said, look at the charges, look at the weight of the evidence that I just mentioned. They said they have allegations that he and his associates were trying to tamper with witness testimony last year so that they wouldn't cooperate with the government. What do you take away about who has the stronger argument in terms of bail?
Well, I think his counsel has done the best they possibly can. I think bringing him there voluntarily is very smart, starts them out on the right foot. But I think the last thing that you just mentioned, the interfering with witnesses.
That's the allegation, yeah.
Yeah, if that's true, or I should say, if there's real addition that happened, I think that might tip the scales in favor of not letting him out pending trial, because I think, and you know this, I think judges take an extraordinarily dim view of that, and that might be the factor that tips the scale against him. But I think as far as...
Diddy's lawyer is doing everything possible to present him as a good person, but the judges aren't convinced. This is the 3rd time Diddy's bail has been denied. Interestingly, he actually had a good chance of being released this time. However, over the weekend, just before the judge could approve his bail, Diddy was reportedly caught trying to contact witnesses again. Reports say he used the prison's phone system, even accessing other inmates' phone privileges, which is ultimately how he got caught.
Can you come say a few words to the microphone? Who's going to be watching Jesse and Delilah?
I think that we made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think it came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. We believe in him wholeheartedly. He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime. There's basically just, someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal case. And we're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he. And eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent. And so tomorrow we fight again. and we'll fight every day until we don't have to fight anymore. I don't get into that stuff.
In past bail hearings before different judges, Diddy has repeatedly shown the same troubling and predatory behavior seen today. There's no chance the court will let him go free before his trial in May 2025. As a result, Diddy will stay in jail for the next several months. His lawyers are expected to try again for bail, but without any new or convincing evidence, it's unlikely they'll be able to persuade a judge to grant it.
We made a bail appeal to Judge Carter. It did not go our way. The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and I believe inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility. And I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible. I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide to me, but everything's on the government's timetable, nothing's on the defendant's timetable, and they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial, and I'm going to be pushing for that. He's ready, he's focused. He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective. I obviously would much prefer to fight this case with him out of jail, and we are going to try to bring that about through additional legal process. But wherever he is, his resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
Diddy's attorney has reportedly questioned.
Diddy's lawyer has reportedly questioned more than 49 witnesses who are expected to testify against him. He claimed that prosecutors don't have any video evidence, but that statement is completely false. Footage has already surfaced showing Kevin Hart, Diddy, and Usher standing next to a woman at one of Diddy's parties. If Diddy's legal team keeps getting caught in such obvious lies, it's clear that his chances of ever getting bail are almost non-existent.
I believe it's one victim and 49 witnesses who saw this behavior. That's pretty powerful, though, to have that many people who have, if they go to court and argue that they witnessed this behavior by your client.
Well,
what's your defense against that?
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual. Nobody was too drunk. Nobody was too high. These were adults in a relationship. This is a 10-year relationship. You can't forget that. This is a 10-year relationship, and it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there wanted to be there. So I feel very confident in our position.
You said you interviewed the men, but what about the women?
I haven't interviewed the woman. The woman's not available to me. She's presumably a grand jury witness, and we cannot try to interview a grand jury witness.
You said you're portraying this as adults who were at these events that wanted to be, I shouldn't even call them events, that's not certainly how anyone else would label it, but that they wanted to be there. But they also alleged that they were recorded and essentially used as blackmail. Is that not true?
That's not true. That's not true.
How can you prove that when they have electronic evidence that, as they argue, over 90 cell phones, laptops, iCloud storage accounts, 30 electronic and storage devices, hard drives, thumb drives? Right. You're not worried about that?
Nope. Because if they had it, they would have put it in the indictment.
Interestingly, several people close to Diddy, including 50 Cent and Gun Deal, believe he might be granted bail soon. 50 Cent even posted on Instagram claiming Diddy's release was imminent, while Gun Deal suggested that Diddy could surprise everyone at his next bail hearing. Despite Diddy offering everything he could to qualify for bail, the latest court ruling made it clear that there's nothing he can do to convince the judges that releasing him would be safe.
He might get bail. Now you're wondering why I'm saying that. See, they are trying to use some of the things that happen to criminals all the time, or inmates all the time. They always, brother, they always do those impromptu searches. And in one of the cases, in this particular case, they said that when they did the impromptu search, well, they took some of his legal information, and the judge ordered them to give that back. So I guess the lawyers are going to come up with a couple of new things saying that he can't properly, have his case be properly, what do you call it when they client get their client and lawyer privileges. He can't properly do his case with, you understand, with them constantly going in the jail cell, searching him, taking his legal briefs, taking his information, and then probably using it against him. But I don't believe none of that to be true. I believe that they went in there just like they do all the other inmates based on the information they had. You got to realize this, bro. They found out that Diddy was using other inmates' phone calls. Now that probably happens all the time. You understand? And he got to be probably the smartest, dumbest person that I know, because he got to know that those phone calls are being taped. So whatever his lawyers will come up with, the prosecution's going to come up with something else. So the judge is going to want to know, well, what did they do, when they found out he was in violation of some of the stuff that he was doing? Did they charge him with something new? Did they take some of his privileges away? What has happened in the interim when he was doing this stuff that they alleged that he done? So it's going to be a whole forestry of next week, because what they did was they held off whatever the procedures was going to go down today. The judge said he's going to revisit this next week. So I guess, I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll find out what's going on. But it's going to be something that I think it may shock the world.
This case keeps getting more intense with every hearing, and it's clear that Diddy's legal battles are far from over. As new evidence and shocking details continue to surface, the world is watching closely to see what happens next. Stay tuned for more updates. And don't forget to follow for the latest breaking news on this ongoing saga.